Dear students and parents, welcome to visual live stream today. I'm very sorry for the delay due to unexpected technical problem. And in order to provide necessary information of architects and civil engineering program to upcoming students, we would like to organize this live stream today. If students and parents have any questions regarding the two programs, please feel free to put the question via this live stream. And today, it's my honor to introduce two special guests today. I would like to introduce Dr. Thị Thu Hương, Academic Coordinator of Architecture Programs. And second, I would like to introduce Dr. Joerg Franke, Academic Coordinator of Civil Engineering Program. And thank you for being with us today. So let's start with the first question. And Dr. Joerg Franke and Dr. Hương, would you please share with us on the audiences here the Vietnamese and international market demand for architectures and civil engineering engineers? Yes. So I would like to start with the civil engineering program first. So Dr. Joerg Franke, can you share the market demand first?
Okay. Well, first of all, I would also like to welcome the audience, dear students, dear parents. Welcome to this live stream and thanks for your interest in the two programs that we want to present. Well, if you look at the current situation under COVID-19, of course also the construction industry in Vietnam has been suffering. Also it had a very bad first half year in 2020, but then it recovered already relatively fast. That's difficult nowadays to make projections for the future. They are all relatively uncertain depending on the development of the pandemic. But as Vietnam has been doing very well with regards to this topic, it's also foreseen that the construction industry will be growing at around 7% for the next 10 years, a little bit less than it used to grow 10 years before, or before 2020 that we had in there. And therefore the general prospect is very good. If it comes to residential houses, well, first of all, the houses for the poor people that has been strongly supported by the government. There's a program running until 2022. Then last year the government enacted the PPP law, where they hope to attract a lot of foreign investment also into infrastructure and into other construction sectors. Then we see the movement also during the pandemic from industries moving their production capacity to Vietnam from China, for example. This requires investment in the industrial buildings, and we see that also. And in general, the infrastructure in Vietnam should be upgraded with transportation, especially rail, seaports, and also the other infrastructure. So overall, the development of the construction sector, which is already very strong in Vietnam because a lot of the GDP, the gross domestic product, is invested in the construction sector, will continue. And this is, of course, also requiring the relevant staff, people to recruit, and there our civil engineers that we educate in our program, they are very well fit for that market. You have a lot of international players nowadays. About a little bit more than 50% is going to international companies, mostly from Asia. South Korea, China, and Japan are the top three that are working here in Vietnam in the construction sector. And if you have with an international education background staff working there, also in the local companies that cooperate or have an international client, this is very positive. And therefore we expect that a demand of 800 to 1,000 civil engineers a year is going to continue, at least after the pandemic has recovered.
So can you compare the market between Vietnam and the market for civil engineering in Germany? And because since in there are many construction in Germany, they have very long history.
The market in Germany in general is, from the percentage of the GDP, much smaller than in Vietnam. We have a very strong demand in labor force currently because we have a very high demand on residential buildings, apartments also in the cities. Many people are moving to the cities, and real estate is currently a very good investment. So there is a lot of construction going on. And on the other hand, we have the most dominant generation, we call it the boomer generation, the baby boomers, they are retiring. So we need new people in there. And currently the labor market for the civil engineers is really good. And also during the pandemic, stronger ongoing pandemic in Germany, that we have currently, the construction sector still kept its momentum.
Thank you for your sharing, Dr. Joerg Franke. So now we move to the architecture program. So Dr. Hương, can you share with all audiences here the market demand for architectures in Vietnam and for the international market, some market like in Southeast Asia?
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, parents and students and all audience. It is my pleasure to welcome you to join the live stream today to talk about the programs. Thank you, Mr. Thu. So, in the big context of construction sector, like Dr. Joerg already mentioned, I would like to give you a few statistical number for the sector in construction, architectures, and related fields. For example, everyone, you can see that the urbanization rate in Vietnam is really high this day, that rapid development, rapid growth. And that creates a high demand for the buildings at all types, from residential, commercial, industrial, and other types of building, like Dr. Joerg already mentioned. So among these, we have about 4 million laborers working in construction sector in general, with more than 10,000 enterprise. And of course, a big portion of this sector will be architecture's career, right? And in more specific, according to the statistical number, it is predicted that the career for architecture's field will increase about 4% per year for the next 10 years. Also, it is predicted that about 400,000 to 500,000 laborers will be needed for the construction sector in general, right? And if we consider the overall career features of Ho Chi Minh City, the career in construction, architecture, and environment share more than 10%, more than 10,000 labor per year. And for your information, as of now, we have more than 20,000 architects in Vietnam. But in the context of industrialization, urbanization, the rapid boom of construction, the demand on architecture career in general is increasing.
Yes, thank you for your sharing, Dr. Hương. So you know that there are many demand for the labor workforce in the civil engineer and the architecture, especially for those who have the international standard of the academic of this architecture and civil engineering. Yes, and now so let's talk about the Vietnamese-German University Architecture and Civil Engineering program. So Dr. Joerg Franke, can you introduce the civil engineering program of VGU and what makes the program innovative compared to other programs in Vietnam?
Okay, well, the program, the civil engineering program, is offered by our German university partner, the University of Applied Sciences Biberach, which, as a side remark, is still the number one, still has the number one faculty in civil engineering of all universities of applied sciences in Germany, according to the most renowned German university ranking. So it's number one. And the study program, like all bachelor programs at VGU, starts with 1 year of the foundation year, in which we are preparing the students for a complete English international program. And then it is 6 semesters of the program, which has the advantage that it puts a lot of focus also on planning and construction management, as required by the German Association of the construction industry, the universities, and other stakeholders like the government. And they were trying to bring universities there to the position that they no longer focus so much on the pure knowledge, but also on knowledge and skills, of course, in planning and management. So we have around 40% in real tough science engineering knowledge that we need to have. Then we have around 25% in the design, which is of course very important for a civil engineer, around 22% in planning, and the rest in construction management, which is a very important thing because nowadays the complex construction projects, at least the big ones, then they require a lot of planning and construction. Then the program is always rooted in real life because the colleagues from the German university that will teach most of the modules in the beginning of the program, they have all at least 3 years experience in industry and still have a lot of good contacts with the national, which is the German, and international industry. This is a requirement. And also at VGU, the lecturers that we are recruiting for the program at VGU, we are also looking very carefully how is the relation to industry, because that is a very strong and important point from the German university partner. And the rest is we have modern laboratories. We have a lot of projects that students have to do. There is around 25 courses where the students have to actively contribute by reports and not just have a written exam. And towards the end of the study, there are 2 really big industrial projects where students have to apply all their knowledge in design, and also the bachelor thesis, of course, where they have to do it.
I have received some questions regarding the civil engineering program.
Yes.
Yes, there was one student that asked that what are the requirements to be the future civil engineer?
What are the requirements?
I mean, maybe the characteristic or the knowledge base, something.
Well, concerning the knowledge, we are going to provide all the necessary knowledge that you need in the basic engineering sciences and then the specialization. Important is to know that we have only currently one specialization, that is structural engineering in the program, so everybody will have a major or specialization in structural engineering. As a student, you should of course bring some interest in technical stuff with you. That is very important in there. So if you did not like physics and chemistry and mathematics at school, then it will be quite difficult to follow the program. Also, the mathematics importance in this program is not as strong as in other more scientifically oriented programs. The degree is a Bachelor of Engineering, and therefore the focus on that is not so strong. But if you did not like physics, it will be very hard to work in that. On the other hand, digitalization is important, so you should also have a good background already in handling your electronic devices. That will be very helpful, and the civil engineering related ones, we are going to teach you how to do that. And nowadays civil engineering is a big team project, so you should like to have social contacts, you should be able to work in a team. Again, this you're going to train throughout the entire program. We're doing that from the beginning to the end. And communication, of course. And that's the main thing. But always for studying, the real main thing is that you should be interested in the subject in there. So you like to create buildings, to change how your city looks, to improve the living conditions of the people, or to enable great infrastructure projects like building a long bridge or something like that. That is the important thing, in my opinion.
Thank you, Dr. Joerg Franke, for your sharing about the requirement to become a future civil engineer. So I would like to introduce a very special guest today. This guest is from Germany. I would like to introduce Professor Dr. Alexander Glock, Academic Director of Civil Engineering Program from Partner University, Biberach University of Applied Sciences. So thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having the chance to join in electronically. I hope everybody can hear me and we do not have any technical problems. If I could just get a feedback, if you could hear me, that would be great.
Thank you for Professor Locke. So can you introduce the Biberach University of Applied Science and Civil Engineering program? Yes.
Yes, that's a pleasure. Biberach University is a small university located close to Munich in Germany, and we are from the Faculty of Civil Engineering and Project Management with over 800 students. We are the largest faculty of our university. We have 4 bachelor and 3 master programs, and as such, we have implemented this new program together with the VGU, Vietnamese-German University, and the graduates will receive the German degree from Biberach. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for your sharing. So we come back to Professor Dr. Alexander Glock later. So this is a time for architecture program. So my question, Dr. Hương, would you kindly share the architecture program of Vietnamese-German University and what makes the program innovative compared to the similar program in Vietnam?
Thank you. So about the architecture programs, I would like to share with you the information. First, the information about the partner university. It is the Anhalt University of Applied Science in Germany. The partner university has 3 campuses in Biberach, in Dessau, and Cotton, and in which the programs in Germany is located in Dessau. And if you know about the German architecture, then you should know about the Bauhaus architectures, where our university there, the partner university, is located next to the Bauhaus Dessau. And it is world cultural heritage, architectural heritage, very famous building. The university in Germany has about 8,000 students for both bachelor and master degree, in which about 2,000 students are international students. Another characteristic of the university there is that the core learning focus on the openness, tolerance, and the architecture programs is a combination between fine art, craft, design, and structure. And the values, the objective of the architecture program here is the integration of different knowledge from the design field, from the science, humanities, law, ecology. Basically, it is an interdisciplinary program that integrates different aspects in design. So it's not a very pure design, only focus on the fine art like before. But like Dr. George mentioned, this day, due to the globalizations, the development of society and humanities, right, the building needs to fulfill different functions, different aspects, not only the aesthetics in general. Regarding the programs in Vietnam, in Vietnamese-German University here, we learn from the partner university, and it is actually the program in coordination with the partner university. So we follow the curriculum there. We also have different subjects, different values of the program, similar to what the Anhalt University of Applied Science did in Germany. The special points of the program that I would like to introduce to parents and students is that in addition to the design knowledge, the technical knowledge, the structural science, and other values, what we have here is a very special laboratory like the civil engineering programs. We have, if I can say, it is excellent laboratories where we import quite a lot of tools, equipment, and software for the student to have the practical experience during the learning time. And similar to other programs at VSU, it is English program, of course. We have very modern facility and laboratories. We have German standard programs. And at this point, I would like to mention that since Germany is the leading country of the world and Europe in general, right? Yes, I believe so. Yes.
Thank you.
What the students have chance to learn here is that it is an international standard in design, international standard in architecture, and I think this is a very good point for the programs at VTU. And if we compare with other programs in Vietnam, the program at VTU also fulfills the certain basic knowledge like other university here. And the strong point I already mentioned about the technical matters, the integration of the different disciplines, and also the laboratories.
Yeah, thank you for your sharing, Dr. Thu. So I would like to, their student want to ask the question regarding for the architect program that she said that she's not so good at drawing. Is it a big obstacle for studying architecture in VTU?
Thank you. It will not be a big obstacle, but she will need to make her best effort for the first year, because at VTU in the foundation year we provide the architectural drawing as one important subject to fulfill the knowledge gap for those students who has no drawing skill before. Yeah. So this is a very special point of the program in VTU, that we provide the extra curriculums for the foundation year. So students without drawing skill, who have never learned any drawing class outside during the high school, don't worry, you have a chance to learn the program because we will complement for that knowledge.
Yeah. Thank you for your sharing, Dr. Hương. So you know quite a lot about the architecture program in VTU. So can you share with our audience the studying subjects of each program, and are there any field trip or training available for students, since you know that practical knowledge is very important for them in the future? So I would like to start with the civil engineering first. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the civil engineering program is a relatively classical program. I told you already about the different weighting of the aspects inside. So what the students learn in the beginning, the core subjects are everything related to structural engineering, geotechnical engineering, hydraulic engineering, and infrastructure planning and construction management. I mentioned already the importance of the management. These are all the different aspects and disciplines of civil engineering. That's what a civil engineer needs to know. Okay. Then, after 3.5, 4 semesters, the students will have a major, will focus, and there we currently offer only the one specialization, which is structural engineering. So how to design structures with different construction materials, to put it more general. And the important lectures that students will have there is they will advance their knowledge in reinforced concrete, one of the main building materials, and in addition in steel structures. That is the important thing that one needs. And I said already that there are 2 big projects in the last semesters where they apply their knowledge directly and ideally with real-world projects. Concerning the practical parts and the field trips, well, the student starts after the foundation year, which we talked about a little bit, starts with going to industry for 8 weeks. We have a 2 months pre-study internship in the construction industry. Definitely not in an office, but really on a construction site, to learn about it and also to see what aspects of the construction business are most interesting for me. So additional motivation for the study program. Then there will be several courses where you have 1-day excursions to construction sites. This is also done like that in Germany at the German partner university. All the module elements that we have a substantial part of exercises. So it's not only conveying of knowledge, but roughly 50% is for showing the lecturers that you can apply it, like in real-world cases or close to real-world cases. There's a lot of small projects that the students have to do in addition to the big projects. So as I told already, it's around 25 modules where the students have to do a project work. So they are very well prepared from these practical aspects, and the success of the graduates of the German program show that, and we are sure that we can convey, translate this success also to the graduates of our Vietnamese program here.
Thank you for your sharing, Dr. Joerg Franke. How about the architecture program?
Thank you. So let me explain about the curriculum, the structure of the architecture program first. As you know, it is a 4-year program in which we have 1 year for foundation and for 3 years for professional years. So in the foundation year, the student will learn some basic subjects like other programs, physics, mathematics, English, German, and for architecture program, we have 2 additional drawing subjects. One is architectural drawing that focus more on the fine arts. But the other is technical drawing, focus on the technical skill and basic understanding about the drawing. In the next 3 years, we call professional years. Basically, students need to ensure 180 credits, in which we have 30 credits per semester, so totally 6 semesters in general. The subject that students need to learn will be divided into 3 groups. It is orientation group, the basic group, and the advanced group of module. In Germany program, we call modules or subject. It's the same, right?
Yes.
So quite similar to any architecture program in the world. The subject will focus on design, on theory, on the science and technology, and also for other skills, including the soft skill. Regarding the field trip, I can say that it is a German style of education that every module or every subject will require the field trip. For the design work, the field trip will be the site visit for students to understand about the site context